Faster my good evening and welcome to the Manx Radio Folk Show with me, John Barker, playing you the best in folk and roots music from the Isle of Man and from all around the world. And first tonight, a version of a very well-known song, though you may not recognise it until the chorus. This is False Lights from their album Harmonograph. So that was Black Velvet Band by False Lights from their second and most recent album, Harmonograph, released in 2018. I do hope they'll come out with something else. I played you lots of music from their first album, Salvor, which is absolutely brilliant, but I must admit I've not listened to that second album as much. But we'll do so and play you something else from it soon. Now, a little while ago, I played you some music by a Scandi Scottish folk band based in Glasgow called Tern, T-E-R-N. They are Rose Logan on fiddle, Christina Lisik on fiddle, Leah Sondergaard Larsen on baran, Miguel Guirao on guitar, and Amy Lawrenson on piano. I've played lots of music by her recently from her solo album, which was fantastic. Anyway, here's another track by them from their album Flyway. This is Hamo Goel Adonnell. My love is fixed on Donnell. And needless to say, the pronunciation of many items in that introduction is very dubious. A couple of weeks ago, we had a request for a Neil Young track, which I played. As most of you will know, I'm a big Neil Young fan, and I went to the Broadway cinema to watch Coastal the other night, a one-night-only showing of a documentary filmed by Neil Young's wife, Daryl Hannah, of a recent solo tour. Certainly showing his age, but still wonderfully powerful, and a very touching film it was. But also, for my birthday recently, one of my sons bought me a vinyl copy of Oceanside Countryside, which was an album that was never released back in the late 70s when it was recorded, though several tracks appeared on other albums. But it is now out, and from that album, here's a great song. This is Pocahontas.
Aurora borealis, the icy sky at night, paddles cut the water in a long and hurried flight from the white man to the fields of green and the homeland we've never seen. They killed us in our teepees and they cut our women down. They might have left some babies crying on the ground, but the fire stills and the wagons come and the night falls on the setting sun. Massacred the buffalo, kitty corner from the bank, and the taxis run across my feet, and my eyes have turned to blanks, and my little box at the top of the stairs, with my Indian rug and a pipe to share. I wish I was a trapper. I would give 1,000 pelts to sleep with Pocahontas and find out how she felt in the morning on the fields of green in the homeland we never seen. And maybe Marlon Brando will be there by the fire, sitting on top of Hollywood, and the good things there for hire, and the Astrodome, and the first GP. Marlon Brando, Pocahontas and me. Marlon Brando, Pocahontas and me. Pocahontas.
To Wales next, and Filkin's Drift. I played you something from their new album Glan the other week. Here's a tune called My Pretty Little Highland Mary. Jesse Wells is a young American guitarist, singer, songwriter with a rather quirky take on things, making a big name for himself in the States. This is a single he released towards the end of last year, and it's just called Bugs.
Well, I have a reason, I know why. Don't do it just so they'll die. If you're gonna kill a bug, don't do it just because. I like bugs, and I'll tell you why. They're alive, and so am I. Bugs. I like grasshoppers, 'cause frogs eat 'em. I like bees, 'cause flowers need 'em. I like spiders, I like slugs. I like caterpillars, I like bugs. I hate crowds, I love people. I ain't down with the plague, but I'm cool with beetles and bugs. Whoa, bugs are pretty cute, bugs are pretty fun. There's a couple of bugs I try to stay away from. Mosquitoes, ticks, business flies, bugs in suits, bugs in ties. And I get bit, and it makes me itch. You won't ever hear me complain, 'cause they never really kill me. Granddaddy longlegs, fireflies, big banana spiders with a bunch of eyes. Birds eat bugs and then they sing a pretty tune. Maybe I should look into eating bugs pretty soon. Every time I get an itch, I think of all the things I done stepped on that I never did see. And I go, okay, bugs, one for me. Bzz, 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 bzz. And I don't know what the man is praying for, but he probably just thanking the Lord that he don't live in a home, and he don't got a phone, and he don't sit around all angry and bored. He's just a bug. Buzz on. Bzz, 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 bzz. I like bugs, and I'll tell you why. They're alive, and so am I. Bugs.
Excellent stuff from Jesse Wells. He's obviously been listening to music from way before he was born. In fact, that reminds me of something from my childhood. I can't think what it is now. Here's a new track by Rachel McShane and the Cartographers from their album Uncharted, Get Up Jack.
Ships may come and ships may go, as long as the seas do roll. Each sailor lad likewise is dead, he loves that flowing gold. And alas, ashore he does adore, then arise they shine like stars. But when his money's gone, it's the same old song, get up Jack John, sit down. So come along, you jolly brave tars, there's plenty more ale in the jar. But when your money's gone, it's the same old song, get up Jack John, sit down. gets turfed out, and he cries and sighs right up to the skies. Me boys, we're homeward bound. For when your money's gone, it's the same old song. Get up, Jack John, sit down. So come along, we jolly brave tars. There's plenty more ale in the jar. For when your money's gone, it's the same old song. Get up, Jack John, sit down. So come along, jolly brave tars. There's plenty more ale in the jar. But when your money's gone, it's the same old song. Get up, Jack John, sit down.
So that was Rachel McShane and the Cartographers. You may know Rachel as a founding member of Bellowhead. She plays cello, sings and plays the violin too. Now it's only just over 2 weeks until the wonderful The Often Heard appear at the Institute in Laxey on Friday the 9th of May. There are still tickets at etickets.im/et, though not so many left now. Here's a track from their album Where the Big Lamp Shines. It's called Inner Peace.
Crystal blue waters lay around me, bristling with life of 100 hues. My feet were in the sand, but my head was in my hands. Felt like a dog in a pound cell, with bars made of sticking to the plan. There was a burden in my mind of a building, and the noise of busy life fills my head. Then a chance came my way to run astray. All I needed was to go free, to learn to live another way. Drifting along without direction can leave you thinking on your feet. To know that quiet isn't lonely, and find some inner peace. Exercise my demons, I joined a pair of humble nomads, and in those kind strangers struck, I couldn't believe my luck. Paid for each day as it went by. We ate by the silk line and hook. Now a free spirit living off the bare bones, and camping in a ditch of yellow leaves. I was rising like the sun was each day starting gun, released into the wild with an untethered feeling of freedom. Drifting along without direction can leave you thinking on your feet. To know that quiet isn't lonely, and find some inner your feet. To know that quiet isn't lonely, and find some inner peace.
The Often Heard, and don't miss your chance to see them live on the 9th of May at the Institute in Lagsea. Two more tracks by Welsh artists now. Cerys Hafana, I've played you lots of music by her before. She has very interesting takes on traditional music, and this is a version of The Wife of Usher's Well by her, from an EP of last year, The Bitter. And then Gwilym Bowen Rhys from his new album Aiden, and Itebot, The Teapot.
There lived a wife in Usher's Well, a wealthy wife was she. She had 3 stout, stalwart sons and sent them overseas. They had not been from Usher's Well a week, but barely one, when word came to the Caroline wife that her 3 sons were gone. Sons came home to Usher's Well, their huts were made of bark. The neither grew in forest green nor on any wooded rise, but from the north side of the tree that grows in paradise. Cold clay, hands over my head, and green grass grows at my feet, and every tear that you shed for me affects my white sheet. Blow up the fire, my maidens all bring water from the well. Since my darling babes are home, they've come home safe and well. We may not eat your bread, mother, nor may we drink your wine, for cold death is Lord of all, to him we must resign. Cold clay, hands over my head, and green grass grows at my feet, and every tear that you shed for me affects my white sheet. Then up crowed the blood-red cock, and up and crowed the grey. The oldest to the youngest said it's time we were away, for the cock does crow and the day does show, and the January worm doth jive, and we must go, 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 and we must go to the gate of paradise.
Now, at the start of the show, I played you a track by False Lights. That's a band headed by Jim Murray and Sam Carter, both on guitars and vocals. You heard Jim Murray singing Black Velvet Band, but here's a new solo single by Sam Carter. It's the old traditional American song, Long Time Traveling.
Ye fleeting charms of earth, farewell, your springs of joy are dry. My soul now seeks another home, a brighter world on high. I'm a long time traveling here below, I'm a long time traveling away from home. I'm a long time traveling here below to lay this body down. Farewell, my friends, whose tender carers long engage my love. Your fond embrace I now exchange for better friends above. I'm a long time traveling here below, I'm a long time traveling away from home. I'm a long time traveling here below to lay this body down. I'm a long time traveling here below, I'm a long time traveling away from home. I'm a long time traveling here below to lay this body down. I'm a long time traveling here below to lay this body down.
Now, tomorrow, the 23rd of April, is St. George's Day. St. George is a strange choice of patron saint for England, really, isn't he? He was born in Cappadocia, Turkey, around 270 AD. He was a high-ranking officer in the Roman army who protested against the Romans' torture of Christians. And the Roman Emperor Diocletian ordered his death for failing to recant his faith, and that's how he became a Christian martyr, but he never visited the UK. Edward I and Edward III of England were very keen on their crusades, and they thought St. George was a fine figure indeed, and adopted him as the patron saint of England. But he's also the patron saint of countries like Ethiopia, Georgia, Portugal, and cities such as Freiburg, Moscow and Beirut. So quite an international appeal. Here's a track from what I think is the best Albion country band album, The Battle of the Field, from 1976. And it's a song written by Richard Thompson called The New St. George, followed by a tune called La Rota.
The time has come for action. Leave your satisfaction. Can't you hear St. George's tune? St. George's tune is calling you on. Freedom was your mother. Fight for one another. Leave the factory, leave the forge, and dance to the new St. George. Don't believe pretenders who say they would defend us while they flash their teeth and wave the other hurt is being paid. They choke the air and bleed us. These noble men who lead us. Leave the factory, leave the forge, and dance to the new St. George.
From English music to Manx music, and McTulloch from their album Twisted Roots. Here's their version of the tune Morrie Ni Gainley, which is a dance tune collected by Margot Quayle in Glen Aldyn, which for some reason McTulloch put a calypso feel to. And this track features Suling Jacks on guitar, Mei Ying Lee Ellis on mandolin, David Collister on fiddle, John Collar on baran, Peter Cupley on whistles, and as a guest Dave Spears on bouzouki. Well, I hope that transported you to the Caribbean-like seas of the Isle of Man. Music happening here in the Isle of Man this week. The usual sessions, Wednesday night at O'Donnell's, Friday night at the Mitre in Ramsey, both of those starting about 8:45, and the Sunday afternoon Improvers session is in the Woodburn Bar between 4 and 6 p.m. Also on Wednesday night, you can enjoy the Moloch Band at the Sailors Shelter in Peel. That's at 8 p.m. And there'll be the Folk Club in Ramsey at the Buffs Club on Thursday evening. Let's continue a track by the excellent Le Vent du Nord. This is called Louisburg.
C'était toi, noble empereur, qui m'avait nommé gouverneur de Louisbourg, ville admirable qu'on croyait en sûreté. On la croyait imprenable, mais elle n'a su résister.
Est-ce manque de canons ou de poudre de munitions? En garnison, 2000 hommes, nous avions 30 ans de secours. Je voudrais bien qu'on me nomme ce qui manquait à Louisbourg. Les Français, soir et matin, essayaient de calmer leur faim, nuit et jour dans les tranchées, jusqu'à mi-jambe dans l'eau. 20 000 hommes en poussée les avaient bien pris d'assaut. La ville était aux abois, le feu dans plusieurs endroits. La muraille à l'escalade ne pouvait plus résister. On fit battre la chamade afin de capituler. J'ai mis une condition pour moi et toute ma garnison de sortir de nos chaumières armés, tambours battants, en déployant nos bannières, quittant bagages et argent. J'ai quitté 500 canons, 1000 barils poudrés puis de plomb, 10 000 carres de farine et 30 000 boulets. Les Anglais ont bonne mine après la guerre aux Français. Adieu donc, charmant Louisbourg, c'est un adieu pour toujours. En un moment de détresse, avoir eu tant de malheur, à regret je te délaisse, toi et tous tes directeurs.
Well, that's pretty much all I got time for, except for one last track. I need to tell you that it's that time of year again, it's the Guild, and so there are no specialist music programmes on Manx Radio next week at 9 p.m, no folk show. But I will be back on Tuesday the 6th of May, and I hope you'll join me then. And I'll leave you with Lock Mountain by Michael McGoldrick from an album called Fused.